Yeah, I mean, I'm just feeling good. Like I said, I feel like, I'm feeling a lot better physically. I'm in shape. I can run a lot faster, a lot longer. It's just, helping the rest of my game. When I have wind and I'm not tired, I can do anything.
So, at the start of the NBA season, Paolo Banchero suffered an injury that kept him out of action until January, and with his return resulting in some subpar play due to him not being on the court for a while, the media and lots of NBA fans started to wonder if he was ever that good, and some even say he sucked. Whether you agree with that take or not, in the month of March in 12 games played, Banchero has averaged 30 points, 7 rebounds and 4 assists, while converting 50% of his shots from the field and 39% of his 3-point attempts. Banchero has always been on the radar as one of the best young players in the league, as his ability to attack in transition, create with zero space, and play with supreme confidence has helped him gain an advantage over the defense. The first thing off the back you'll notice with Banchero is how strong he is when attacking the paint. When pushing up the floor here, Paolo has the smaller Dillon Brooks matched up with him, so with no games or no wasting time, he bullies him off his path when attacking the rim, and with Sengun slightly shoving Banchero in his back while using him as leverage to jump, Paolo's able to still get this one up in the air, and off the glass he finishes the and one. This 6'10", 250-pound frame allows him to simply bulldoze through defenders when he's in pursuit to get a bucket, and even if he is matched up with someone near his size, he'll show you that it's levels to this thing we call strength, as he easily moves Randall off him, and then continues through the contact to complete the bucket plus the foul. Trust me, it's not every day you see someone of his stature be able to put the ball in the deck confidently, to then lower that shoulder to erase the defender for a brief moment, and then continue on to delete them completely. But hey, when we're talking about Banchero, this is exactly what you get. For defenders, it's highly important that they don't let him get a step on him, because if you find yourself on his hip giving him the perfect angle to attack, at this point it doesn't matter if you have 3 defenders around you to help out, as Paolo will simply impose his will when going to go score. This bullying nature of his game is just one aspect to his attacking, as you can't always lean on that to get you a bucket, so here's where Paolo can start showing you other skills in his bag. With him being a forward for this Magic team, you'll see a lot of times where bigs will have to guard him, and boy oh boy is this right here a problem. Unlike other bigs who don't really have any speed to them, Banchero can put his head down and start moving past defenders to get to the cup, and with that inside hand finish, Gobert is too late to effect the layup. Even if it isn't a big on him, he'll take advantage of any defender with slower feet to make his way to the paint, and with some solid navigation skills, he's able to slide right past LeBron to lay this one in. That ever so slight speed advantage is another layer to his game that makes him hard to stop when pushing downhill, as it allows him to get ahead and punch it on defenders when he lifts off from the runway. But hold on, let's not get carried away, as sometimes he'll need to get more crafty if he wants to get inside. When pushing up the floor versus the Bulls, Banchero is already moving like a freight train, but as you can see, Levine is waiting right in front of him. Now at this moment, he could just bully him like we've seen in previous examples, but like I said, you can't always do that or else you'll start getting called for a lot of offensive fouls. So what does Paolo do instead? Well, he proceeds to use that in and out to make Levine shift slightly, and if you remember a point I made earlier once again, if the defender is on his hip giving up that angle, it's pretty much a done deal. Now look, I'm not here to try and convince you that Paolo is the craftiest player or anything, but say a defender tries to cut him off, well he can use the spin move to evade the traffic cones. If he gets stopped one way, and then the next defender tries to cut off the drive going to the middle of the floor, he can now use that in and out into a crossover to get downhill and convert a tough bucket over the defense. And when he sees a defender trying to stop the drive and doesn't want to keep the ball on the floor, well he can get nasty with this carry behind the back to go grab 2 points.
Back puts it in, off the glass. That was spectacular.
It honestly gets more and more difficult to guard Banchero once he gets in a flow state when attacking the rim, but I want you all to take a guess at what makes the flow state so dangerous. I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. 3, 2, 1. If you mention anything about his attacking, you would be wrong. Because yes, of course it'll make him more confident when pushing to the rim, but here's where he can leverage that driving threat to now get creative in the mid-range. That same way he uses the muscle to get to the rim can be used in the mid-range, as right here you're going to see him send Randall to the ground before sinking the bucket, but trust me, that's not what makes his creation so special. With Paolo, he's not some guy who has a super fancy handle to mix up defenders to then pull up right over him, as he does like to use his body and footwork to create distance away from his defender, and it truly doesn't take a lot of space for him to feel comfortable to pull up. With Banchero being 6'10", all he needs to do is put a little fear in the defender's heart that he will attack the basket, which will make them back up slightly, and right here is where he can elevate right over the contest. Time and time again, you'll see defenders fall victim to their own movement when they decide to take a step back to counter the drive, as now all they can do is watch the ball fall through the basket. Now after this has happened many times, you'll see guys start to guard him up closer to make him really work for it, and at this point, here's where that footwork comes into play. Versus the Timberwolves, you're going to see Paolo catch right in the middle of the floor with Naz Reid coming to double, so Paolo first uses that ball fake to eliminate the double team. Now with it being a one-on-one situation with a size advantage, Paolo attempts to go right, which would be cut off by Conley, but this is all a setup to go into that turnaround pull-up where he can lift right over Walker, and this one right here is straight cash. As you start to watch Paolo, you'll notice that he uses this move to get into a shot a lot, but let's say the defense has scouted this and collapses on him once he makes his move. Well, here's where that newly found patience comes into play, as Paolo just stays composed through the traffic to then spin back the other way to grab 2 points. There's truly many ways Paolo can get to his spots in the mid-range, as one, he could size up the defender to make them get relaxed with their hands down, and before they know it, he's rising up. He can also choose to keep it short and sweet after scanning the defense to then go right into a one dribble pull-up. And let's just say he's feeling extra confident and wants to add some swag to his game, he can use that spin move to get his defender thinking a drive is coming next, and then throw in that step back for good measure before the pull-up. All of these ways he can get to his spots on the court leave the defense wondering what's going to happen next, and even if they do scheme correctly to stop him, well, his playmaking is improving as he's starting to make the right reads out these actions. There will be times where he attacks the basket and ends up with multiple defenders around him, and instead of forcing it like he would have last year, we now see Paolo dropping it off to one of his guys for easy buckets in close. And when they least expect a pass to happen, Paolo will fool the entire defense with a beautiful drop off behind his back for Franz to go finish. Now listen closely, this is not me saying that Paolo is the greatest passer ever, as there's still a lot of room for him to grow as a passer, but as I've been watching him, he's getting better at making the right play and is also improving his quickness when it comes to reading the floor and locating his guys in open spots. Over the past couple months, the media tried to paint Paolo in a bad light, and even some people said that the Magic should trade him as they're better off without him. Like, yeah, I get it, Franz Wagner is a highly skilled player and we have seen him be able to take over when Paolo isn't there. But that doesn't mean you give up on your number 1 pick, who is just as dominant, if not more. That injury may have sent Paolo into a rusty stretch where he didn't look quite like himself, but as he's gotten into a flow and finding his footing, people are now seeing the Paolo Banchero that we have all been noticing for a while. At this point, I have a question for all of you. You tell me, what is your favorite part about Paolo's game, and what are some things he desperately needs to work on? Let's all talk about it in the comments and see what we come up with. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. If you want to support this channel further, consider signing up for my Patreon, which is linked in the description. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.